Hi everyone, I'm Ethan, or Eon997 on Reddit. I'm hosting the podcast because Maddie died. This week on the podcast we have...
Arthi, clockwork_watermelon.
And John _ hi, I'm John _
Three
You don't
underscores.
have to say underscore.
So many underscores.
Underscore heavy podcast today.
Should I add a couple underscores to my name?
If you don't have any underscores, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, I'm going to actually legally change my name to EX_Han. Okay. Maddie is not in fact dead. He is somewhere where he does not have good internet, so I'm going to host tonight. John needs to leave pretty quickly, so let's get this show on the road and get shit done. This week we had 4 album releases that we noticed. Tallest Man on Earth released Dark Bird Is Home. Surfer Blood released 1,000 Palms. Farmers, I don't know, released Ganera. And Guantanamo Baywatch, which I've never listened to, but I really want to because of their name, released Darling, It's Too Late. Did anyone listen to anything? I didn't.
I didn't either, to be honest.
I was gonna listen to the Performers one. Is that the one that's with Aaron Dessner in it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I feel like Jeremiah probably listened to that.
I think I saw something he posted said he did.
Well, Jeremiah had to run out to get food, so he couldn't be on this.
He might be back later. Who knows? Probably not.
And you can talk about the performers.
We learned on the podcast last week that one of the members of Surfer Blood beats his wife, so I don't really feel bad about not listening to that.
I'm pretty sure those were allegations, but I could be completely wrong and an asshole at the same time. So.
It's okay. I don't know. I mean, usually if there's allegations made, there's a reason. I don't know. But let's move on. No reason to get it. We did get into that last week. So there were 3 singles that were highly upvoted on the subreddit this week. Mac Demarco, The Way You Love Her. Jamie XX, I Know There's Gonna Be, parenthesis, Good Time, and parenthesis. And Ratatat Intro, which is barely a song. So let's start with the Mac Demarco song. Someone with a positive opinion on it, start.
I liked it. I think
it's Mac Demarco. I like it. But he just keeps getting dreamier, and the songwriting doesn't get any different, so I'm wondering where he's going to go from here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any problems with that, though. I feel like I just want there to be hundreds of Mac Demarco records, and it's all just the same type of songwriting, so whenever, I want to listen to some Mac Demarco, I can throw one on and, feel it home.
Or you can just have one Mac Demarco record with the type of writing and just throw that one on every time.
But then you'll get bored of it. I don't know, I feel like a lot of people on the sub have this mentality where they're every single artist has to go to a new place every time they make an album, and I don't know. That's not something that I really care about too much.
I mean, the thing is when you make a lot of albums that are similar, some of them are going to fall shorter than others, so they're just wastes of time and effort, and just might as well try something new and hit it big, or not hit it big, then not try anything at all.
But I also think that Mac kind of just has his aesthetic down, on pat.
Aesthetic.
I think it's alright.
I have a story for discussing the actual track, though.
I mean, I can't stand it, but I mean, that's just because I don't like Mac Demarco, so it's nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with the song. It's just I don't like his style. I think it's too laid back, and that kind of annoys me. But, yeah, tell your story.
Wait, before we go on, Ethan, do you like Beach House?
I do like Beach House.
Okay.
But I feel that's not laid back. There's a ton of, I don't know, there's a depth to the emotion there that I don't feel is present in Mac Demarco stuff.
Okay.
The quote I wrote on the document, or the schedule, was, "This sounds like shitty yacht rock." So I don't know. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, and because I know everyone, literally everyone on the sub except Alex, loves Mac Demarco, but I just it's not my thing. It's not that it's bad. It's just I can't stand kind of that laid back, maybe stoner aesthetic kind of thing that he does. It's never been my thing.
Well, after this past weekend, I have a vendetta against him.
Ooh, let's hear why.
Because so I'm sitting on the hill watching Surfer Blood open, and they're the first like real performance at the music festival I went to at Shaky Knees in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my friend's just sitting down. He points and goes, "That's Mac Demarco." So obviously, my entire group of friends, like 4 of us, stand up and like run over. And Mac was talking to like 2, maybe 3 people, and I'm like, "Yes, I'm gonna get a picture with Mac Demarco. I'm gonna hug the like hell out of this guy and get a picture." And then he goes, "I'll be right back," and he never comes back.
Aww, that's sad.
No.
So I'm determined to find him and then be like, "You never came back for me."
You should like stab him with a camera. Like this is what it'll be like a good story arc.
True.
You should get famous and then write a diss track about him.
Okay.
But he'd be so cool with it. He'd be like, "Yeah, man, that's cool. Whatever you think." Like if he heard me saying how terrible his music is, or how terrible I think his music is, he wouldn't care. That's what I think is. That's what I kind of respect about him.
Also being said, he has a much more energetic live show than his recordings. All the songs are played like 20% faster.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the second song that we are going to talk about this week is Jamie XX. I know there's going to be good times. I thought it was annoying and boring, and the production was awful and just really badly mixed. And the rap, Young Thug, I don't even really know the artist. But it was a bad track, honestly. I thought it was really bad. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about it. Underwhelming.
Arthi?
I thought it was... I don't really like Young Thug. I don't like his style. But I feel like that's where he's gonna hit it big, I guess. Because it was, like, really catchy, but also, like... Yeah. I feel like this is the track that's probably gonna do it for him this summer.
I mean, I feel like he just released the Barter 6 and that hit it big in his little niche.
Oh, not him. I meant Jamie XX.
Oh, okay, my bad. Jamie XX has had like a couple singles so far that are pretty good, but as far as like the rapping goes overall, Young Thug sounds like he's rapping to the snaps in the background, but not the melody. So like they don't seem like they line up at all. And also I found his like singing at the very beginning really annoying. Really annoying. But Jamie XX has never really like super impressed me. So this seems like average production as far as he goes right now.
Yeah, I just thought this was a boring track overall, and it's just really unremarkable. So the next track we're going to talk about is Ratatat Intro. It's barely a song. It's a minute, and it's like mostly like a metronome for half the track. But I'm just really excited because that means a new Ratatat album's on the way, and the other single is quite good. So yeah, I'm just really, really excited for more Ratatat.
I feel the exact same way. There's nothing to say at all.
It's a bit odd though that they're releasing this as a single or as anything. I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't have released this to let it be in the context of the album.
I feel the exact same way, but I think they're like being like, intro, get hyped for an album now.
But just announce the goddamn album then.
Yeah.
I feel like they're being vague, and they're going to do something cool, and some PR team, this 20-person PR team is like trying to figure out how to reintroduce Ratatat to the world. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to do a hype, and it's kind of working, but I feel like they should just put out good music instead of doing this kind of hype machine.
Agreed.
So we have literally one news bullet point this week, and it's really not news at all. But it's pretty funny that Thom Yorke's picture appears in an Iranian book about sex and relationship problems. So,
context?
What?
Is there context?
No, it's just like there's a book there's on the cover. It's just he's on the cover of an Iranian book about sex and relationship problems. I mean, when he does say Ice Age coming, it now gives it a new meaning.
Or I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different tracks we could make fun of here. What else? Well, those are the two most famous lyrics he's made. I don't know.
Give me a second while I search.
Radiohead lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. I think we should move on.
Something else.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, there's not much that happened this week. I don't know. I kind of wish there was more happening. Let's move on. This is the shortest podcast we're ever going to do. It's been like 10 minutes. Okay. We'll talk about the main topic for a while, I guess, and what we've been listening to for a while. So I have been listening to this week. I didn't listen to a huge amount this week. I've just been kind of tired. But like the couple things that I have listened to are, I finally listened to the Postal Service after hearing a song. Let me see if I can remember the track. This Place is a Prison. It was in the end of the Boo video by The Lonely Island on Channel 101, which is a hilarious series. So yeah, I was like, this is a really good song, because I had Such Great Heights, and I was like, this is really poppy, not really my thing. But I've heard this song, and it was a lot more dark. The beat's a lot more foreboding. The drums were really hard hitting and like really like synthetic, and it was really cool. And so I listened to the album a couple times, and I'm really enjoying it. Oh, someone's getting a phone call.
Yeah, I just shut it up. Sorry.
It's okay. I've been really enjoying that album. I'm happy I finally checked them out. I also bought Perfect From Now On vinyl. I listened to it once or twice before. Really enjoyed it. I've only listened to it once or twice since I've gotten the vinyl. So I haven't listened to the album that many times, but it's an incredible album, I can already tell. It's kind of like the, I don't know, great. Built to Spill are obviously an indie classic, and I think this is generally considered to be their best album. I haven't listened to any of their other stuff, so I don't have an opinion whether this is their best album, but I think this is an incredible album. I really, really enjoy this album. I want to dig deeper into it because it's kind of dense and long, and I don't really like. But I feel like it kind of fades into the background a lot for me when I'm playing it, because of the jam so much. But like if I paid attention to it more, I feel like there would be more depth to it. I think it's an incredible album, though, even though it does lack that little bit of depth emotionally that I would want from it. But I'm excited to keep listening to this album. Now that I have on vinyl, I'll definitely listen to it more. I do that sometimes when I don't have albums on vinyl. I tend not to listen to them. But yeah, what have you been listening to, John?
Before I move on to that, I just want to comment on Postal Service stuff, because I think the Postal Service is probably my favorite, or Give Up's probably one of my favorite records ever. And like whenever I'm at home on Sundays or just relaxing, I just put on that record and just relax. Yeah,
I don't know, like just when you hear Such Great Heights, it's like, okay, this sounds like so many other songs, but like back then, it was completely different from everything else. Like I was listening to an interview with Ben Gibbard, and the people who were interviewing him were like, yeah, I'd never heard anything like this. It was completely different. But like we're so jaded now with so much indie pop, electro pop, but this was the forefather to a lot of that, and it's a lot better than a lot of that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really excited to get more into it, because I'm definitely going to keep listening to it. Like there was like after the first time I listened to it, I was like in the car a couple days later. I'm like, I should really listen to the album. So like it's going to become an album where I'm like, okay, I want to listen to the Postal Service, which is very exciting.
True. Also, two funny things that I want to note is one, Such Great Heights shares the same chords as Wonderwall.
Well, I mean, doesn't half the world share the same or half the songs in the world share the same chords as Wonderwall?
But it's the exact same.
Oh, really?
Where you keep like the two fingers on the fret of the guitar.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but also if you get the time, do you have the deluxe version? Because if you do, you should really listen to other artists' covers of that album. All of them are completely amazing. the Iron and Wine cover, and the I think it's the Shins. They all do a great job of covering everything.
I think that one's
Yeah.
on Spotify, so I'll check it out.
The Iron and Wine cover is actually what got me to listen to them. So I think you should listen to that too.
Okay. I've never
I
really
also
listened to
think-
Iron and Wine. So I'll
I
check.
also think you should listen to Keep It Like a Secret by Built to Spill.
I-
Like that's the next album you should go to.
I've listened to some of the single. I've listened to most of the album in pieces, and I've really liked it. But I want to listen to it as a whole, obviously, and I'll definitely do that soon. And I really enjoyed what I heard. What's the big single, Carry the Zero? That's a fantastic song.
All right.
I'm a plebeian.
Going back to me talking about what I've been listening to this week. I've been listening to so much music this week because I've been just studying for finals. So just like finding new albums, putting them in the background, just thinking about them while I study. And but really, I just want to talk about 3 of my favorite albums that I've just been listening to throughout the year. And that's Sun Club, Dad Claps the Mom Prom. This is really like fun indie pop, Afrobeat. I've seen them in concert 3 times, and it really just makes you want to dance. It's very fun music, and I don't know what else to say about it. I love Sun Club so much; they're great. Next is Foxygen, Take the Kids Off Broadway. This has to be Foxygen's like weirdest record. It's also their first.
Oh, definitely. I think that album's incredible. Okay,
Yeah.
keep talking.
I appreciate like all the weirdness and how much they try to stuff into each song. Like they try to stuff as much like 60s into each song in as many different ways as physically possible. So like every 30 seconds is a new nostalgia trip, and it's really interesting, and I like it. This is also the only Foxygen album I find myself coming back to. Like We Are the 21st Century Ambassadors is a good album, and I enjoy it, and I listen to it from time to time. And I haven't really listened to their newest album since it came out. I haven't come back to it a single time. But this album is the one that always, like, I find myself randomly singing the lyrics in my head. And lastly, I've been listening to a lot of Mogwai, because when I got into post-rock the first time, I felt like I kind of skipped over a lot of really important things. I only really listened to Godspeed and Russian Circles and Explosions in the Sky. But coming back, I had my mind set on Mogwai, and coming off, I listened to Young Team, their most popular album, and it is a great album. Just like the intro says, if the stars had sound, that's what it would sound like. It shuffles between like super intense and like beautiful melodies in a way that no other album does.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just getting breaking news. David Lynch is coming back to Twin Peaks.
What?
Yep, so big news. That's really.
I didn't know he left.
Yeah, he was on the remake. He was gonna not be on it, or the continuation, not remake. But now he's coming back. Yeah, there was like a month where like the negotiations fell out. But carry on. That was just really important to me.
That was the end of my thing. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Twin Peaks for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah. Wait, let's convert this. We don't
Yeah.
really have... Our main topic isn't as important as that.
I mean, the soundtrack for Twin Peaks is incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Angelo Bartimeldi or whatever. Oh, it's so good.
I've never listened to Twin Peaks. I'm not qualified, or I've never watched it.
There, you could listen to or watch. There's a garage band called Twin Peaks. Where
Don,
pretty good.
haven't you seen Twin Peaks?
Yeah, Twin Peaks is probably the
Wait,
only.
Don, were you the one who
Just-
saw the lemons?
Oh my God, the lemons.
Was that...
That- That might be a story for another time, though.
What?
Okay,
No, tell it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have nothing to talk about on this podcast.
so I went to go see Twin Peaks for the second or third time. I love seeing them. They have a great live show, even though their crowd tends to be really young girls that get really obnoxious.
Was that the Rock and Roll Hotel, the recent time?
Not the one with the lemons, but yes, the Rock and Roll Hotel is where
Okay.
they did last time. So I was seeing them at DC9,
Okay.
and they had a local band open up, and then they had this other band open up called the Lemons. And they have a very Beach Boys, happy, fun style. And the lead singer is this 6'4" dude with a really poorly cut mullet, almost like a bowl cut into a straight mullet. And he talks like, "Hi guys, we're the..." and he laughed like that, and it was just too much for me to handle. And then to play songs, and they were doing a good. They like really enjoyed what they were doing, and I couldn't tell if they were pretending or acting or anything. But the songs were enjoyable. And that guy was too much to handle. And then at one point he goes, "Okay, this is a new song."
No, do the voice. Do the voice.
"Okay, guys, this is a new song." Oh. So they play.
I just did a spit take.
Yeah. You have no clue. There's more to the story after. So they play a song about taking their baby to the ice cream shop. I'm like, okay, that was a nice little fun song. And here's a song we wrote on the back porch today. Does DC9 have a porch? Okay, whatever. It's the same ice cream shop song. Here's a cover of a song by the band The Feedles. Not the Beatles, The Feedles. And then they play the same ice cream shop song. And everyone's starting to go insane. One more time, play that song again, and then just run off the stage, like full out sprint.
That is the greatest performance art, Pete, I've ever heard of.
And then I went up to a musician. I don't know what she did. She played that little instrument where they like touch like little buttons and then drag their hand forward. I forget what it's called. On the side.
The theremin.
Is that what it is?
No, that's not
Yeah.
no buttons on a theremin.
Okay, so I'm like, "Why are you guys doing this?" And she just goes, "For fun." And I'm like, "What are you guys doing? Like, my brain hurts." And she's like, "It was fun." And then I went up to the lead singer after the show, and Twin Peaks played a great concert set. They were all stood out of their mind, but that was probably one of the best concerts I've ever seen. One of the amps lit on fire.
DC9.
DC9's house amp lit on fire. That was amazing. But it was a great time. And then I went up to the lead singer of the Lemons afterwards. And I'm like, "Hi." And he's like, "Hello. Oh, you got a pin from us." And then he started to tell me about how he joined this band and it had no songs. And then he became the lead singer, started writing the songs, and slowly began taking over. And when he said he was taking over, his voice dropped and he got all evil. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't handle this man."
Are they on Bandcamp?
They are on Bandcamp.
Okay, I think we know the song of the week.
Yes. "Take My Baby to the Ice Cream Shop" by the Lemons.
Wait, John, didn't you say something about, like... Were you the one who made the comment about them
Yes, that was me.
a while ago? Did you say something, like, you were talking to someone afterwards about the show, and then you were like, "Yeah, this band called the Lemons played," and then he was like, "The Lemons," and then he just stomped out of the room.
They have
Was that you?
No, that wasn't me at all.
They have an EP called Everybody's a Lemon, and buddy is spelled Buddy. I'm gonna have to listen to this band. This is incredible.
It's really it was a life-changing experience. Every time I talk to someone about Twin Peaks, I bring up the Lemons.
Wait, they have a song called Kramer's Theme.
No.
Oh, I'm excited. Everyone knows my favorite song is the Seinfeld song, so.
Okay.
Okay, so Arthi, what did you listen to this week?
So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was this week I've been listening to, like, I think I'm going through a phase of my life where I just listen to Emergency and I by the Dismemberment Plan a lot, and I know that that's Ethan's favorite.
I'm smiling. I'm really
smiling.
smiling. There's like a smile creeping across my face as you say that.
Yeah, I've listened to it every morning on, like, the bus to school for, like, 3 weeks. It's just, like, the first time I listened to it was, like, a while ago, like, a few months ago or something, the first time I ever heard of it, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that was alright." Like, I don't get why it's on the essentials list, but it's nice. And then recently, like, when Ethan put out his essential review of it, and, like, talked about all the lyrics and stuff, I was like, I just didn't really listen to the lyrics at all, so then I went back to listen to it, like, a couple of weeks ago. And then I just got super into it. Like, I downloaded it, and, like, I bought it, and then I've just been listening to it, like, every day. And it's so good. The drumming is really good.
Yeah,
I really like the drumming on, like, the last couple of songs.
He's an incredible drummer. I think that shows more on Change, actually, like with songs like Time Bomb. but like seeing him live is just a magical experience. But yeah, obviously my favorite album. I love it so much. Everything is perfect about it. Every lyric is perfect. Every song structural thing is perfect. There's not one thing wrong with it. I think what's so cool about it is that musically, if Travis said just like blah 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 the whole time, it would still be a 10 out of 10 in my book because the music is that interesting. But then Travis is that good of a lyricist that he goes and storyteller that it blows my mind every time I listen to this record.
Are you guys on a first name basis?
He did like my photo on Instagram of him.
He did?
Yeah.
You're a celebrity.
I mean, I do have wait, let me show you this. Yeah, but I'm gonna get something, but just continue. I love this album. I will eventually talk about it a lot more, but like I don't want to take up the whole podcast because I've already written the central thread for it, so just read that. Go read that. It's good, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, this week, I listened to the album Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space by Spiritualized, and that was already one of my favorite albums. And then, like, one day I got home, and then I was like, oh, I haven't listened to this in a while. Like, I wonder what's happened with it since then. And, like, I listened to it, and then I was like, whoa, this is, like, incredible. And I kind of, like, had to think about it for a while, but, like, the entire time I was listening to it, my mouth was kind of just, like, open, and I was, like, kind of just, like, in shock. And it's always kind of been like that for me, where it's always just, like, it's just such a good album that, like, I don't know. But, like, this week when I listened to it, I kind of just had a moment, I guess, and I was like, all right, probably gonna call this, like, now whenever, like, I have to make a list or something, or, like, somebody is like, what's your favorite album? I'm probably gonna recommend that to them, because it's just so good. Like, it's so... If you haven't listened to it, like, get on that. Have you listened to it?
Yeah, I've listened to it only once, because it's a long album. It's like an hour, right?
It's 70 minutes long.
Yeah, so I have trouble, as we've talked about the podcast, I'm not going to talk about it again, I have trouble listening to full albums. So with a longer album, it's pretty hard for me to listen to. But I listened to it like a year ago, and I really, really, really loved it. I was a bit surprised how rock it got, because I loved the first single, Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space, one of my favorite songs of all time. And I was like expecting more of that, but when I listened to it, I'm like, oh, this is a rock album. This is a kind of a Brit pop rock album. Not in a bad way.
Not really.
I would say.
I feel like it's more, like, having listened to it a lot, I feel like it's kind of just like old kind of psychedelic.
No, I definitely think it has psychedelic. It's more.
But not that. Like, you would expect it to be, like, super psychedelic, considering, like, the name, and, like, it's by Jason Spaceman, and, like...
But then it gets more concrete, definitely.
Yeah, it's, like, super soulful.
That's what I meant by Britpop. That the concreteness I was feeling.
It's, like, it's super soulful. It's something that you wouldn't, like, really expect from the name, I guess, and, like, not... Like, the very first time I listened to it, and, like, the first song, I was like... oh, this is just gonna be like that, isn't it? But it's not. It's like, it's just, I don't know. I like it so much. I think everyone should listen to it, like, definitely, like, as something that you should do before you die, because it's really good.
It is a
great
great
it's really lush.
I'm gonna listen to it again now. I need to listen to it again. I haven't listened to it in a while.
You should do that. You should also listen to everything that he's done. Jay Spaceman.
And Spaceman 3.
Yeah, Spaceman 3 is a great band. I wanted to talk about The Perfect Prescription, because I also listened to that this week, but I didn't have, like, a crazy emotional reaction to it. I just, like, it's really good to vibe to. It's also super soulful. Yeah, everyone who's involved in Spaceman 3 is just up to good stuff.
Yeah. All right.
And the last thing I wanted to John leave?
No, I'm right here.
Go. Oh, all right. Never mind. The last album that I wanted to talk about for this week was Yeast, or Yeesh. I don't know how it's pronounced, by Joanna Newsom, which I recently revisited after like not having listened to it since I think last summer. And that album's also really good. I don't know if it was it was in the running for, I think it was in the running for The Essentials. One of her albums was, and it's so good. Like, the first time I heard it, I was like, whoa, because I've never, I never heard anything like that before, and I know that a lot of people don't like her voice, I guess, and that's kind of something that puts people off. And I feel like this album was kind of polarizing. Like, now I'm looking at reviews about it and stuff. And, like, all the songs are, like, over 10 minutes long, and there's just 5 songs. But they're all just, like, they're super lush. I don't know who the instrumentation is done by. Could someone look that up? Because I know it's, like, a really important person who does instrumentation for a lot of people and, like, worked for the Beach Boys and stuff. But that's all just really lush. And, like, her main instrument is, like, the harp, which is, like, sort of weird, but she carries it through the whole thing, and it's just really good. And, like, the lyricism is crazy. It's like reading a book. Like, not...
Oh.
Just in the way that she uses words, and, like, I think all of the songs are supposed to be, like, based on a true story, or, like, true stuff that happened. But, like, the way she just, like, says, like, puts words together is just, like, it's... I don't know. It's just such good songwriting, and, like... Were you gonna say something?
Oh, it's like a writer would, where every word has its own impact, and no word is out of place or can be taken away.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I just like it a lot, and I think everyone should listen to that too. And I'm not guaranteeing that anyone's gonna like it, because it can be polarizing. Wait, John, have you listened to it?
No, but I have not. My friend keeps suggesting it to me, so I mean to, but have not yet.
You really should. A lot of people say that they don't like her voice, and, like, I don't really understand that. Like, this could be a good main topic sometime, but how do you guys feel about people who have weird voices?
Depends on the weird voice.
It grows on me. Like Chance the Rapper, I didn't like him at first, and now I'm like, fuck yeah, Chance the Rapper.
I've never, ever, like, not listened to something just because the person's voice turned me off.
Well, yeah, I've never avoided
Like,
something.
I've never not enjoyed something simply because of a person's
Well,
voice.
I definitely have. I think Matt and Kim. Not that they're a great band or anything. I just the reason I never listened to them was because I always found their voice. Is it her? She sings, right? Yeah, her voice to be incredibly annoying, or his voice. I don't. They're annoying bands. I'm so dismissive, Jesus. But there are bands I will just like. I cannot click with their voice. But some bands, I listen to hardcore. Like I like weird voices. Like there's a lot of, I don't know. It just depends on the what the weirdness is. There's good weird and bad weird.
For the longest time, I didn't like Queens of the Stone Age, and it was my best friend's favorite. Because Josh Homme's like vocals just creep me the hell out. But
he's such a good vocalist, though.
No, I just got over it.
Like Clockwork is one of my favorite albums of all time. So good.
Do you guys want to move to the main topic?
Yeah, let's move on, because you need to head out soon, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the main topic this week is, because we don't have anything to talk about, so I looked on the subreddit, and the top voted discussion post was about artist variation on the subreddit and the lack thereof of variation. So yeah, I think the problem is that there are people who just I think the majority of the subreddit, not the main users, not the people who actually probably listen to this podcast, the glut of the people are just people who occasionally listen to alt radio, like maybe listen to an indie artist here or there. That's the main part of the bell curve. There are a lot of exceptions to the rule, but I just feel like there's a lot of people who listen to Radiohead and Tame Impala and stuff and just don't listen to that indie stuff. They don't go into their local scenes or anything, and that's the stuff that gets upvoted. Those are the people who come from other subreddits. Maybe they come from our music or something, and they're like, oh, Tame Impala, I know who Tame Impala are. I'm going to upvote that. And it's that kind of, like, the majority of people just aren't that into music, and I could be completely wrong. I have no idea. But I just feel like there are a lot of people who just don't check out a lot of stuff, but there are people who do, obviously. I'm not calling anyone out or anything.
I think the sub's main problem is we are a collection of people that listen to indie, and there's so many different specific genres in indie that the only thing we can, like, agree on is pitchfork-core, and I hate to call it that, but that's what it is. And the people that go to Reddit are typically people that don't want to troll through Mew to find really obscure, like, albums that they might like. They're the type of people that like having essentials list put in front of them and see the most upvoted thing and like seeing weighted things. And this is why subs start developing a culture, and the same thing happened with hip-hop heads. And it's happening to indie heads, where we just are developing a culture and our favorite artists, and sad part it is that it's mostly pitchfork core. And there's going to be a lot of complaining about that. I strongly feel against it. I'm not like super upset like most people, but I feel like I've been putting in work to try to change that, and the sub hasn't been super receptive.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the people that are complaining have not been putting any work to change that, or have not been suggesting ideas. They've just been complaining.
People like complaining, but they don't like fixing things. So that's the human condition, or a lot of humans' conditions.
To fix it, we might want to do like this week album review, or not even this week, just like the new Elvis Presley album came out. Let's talk about it.
I think there was a discussion thread about that album.
But that was about profanity in general.
No, there was I think there was a discussion thread about it.
Oh,
I feel like they do make discussion threads a lot.
But no one comments in
them. But the thing is, no one comments or upvotes them. And another thing that people do is because like, I mean, I feel like I'm guilty of this too, where like, when people post, like, fresh new song by, like, someone I've never heard of, I kind of just ignore it. And, like, I mean, unless I'm not busy, then I'll go through and, like, click on everyone or whatever. But for the most part, I'll click on, like, a fresh new song if it's by someone that I already know. And, a lot of people do stuff. I think a good thing that we could do is that if anyone's, like, super interested in like a smaller artist and wants to like share them with other people, I think a good thing that you could do is to be like that, like this artist sounds like another artist. And I think someone said that already, but I feel like nothing is, especially if I don't have that much time and I'm kind of just scrolling through or whatever, I'll be a lot less likely to click on something unless someone says like it sounds like this artist you like, or whatever.
Yeah, I think, if someone said, like, oh, our band sounds like Weezer, or first two album Weezer, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to click on you, because I want more first two album Weezer, and I'm not going to get first two album Weezer anywhere else. So I would check it out. Like, but, like, I think the main problem is that that there are a lot of people who spam the subreddit, just like with their music or their blog posts, and you're like, I don't want to click on this because this is just some guy like posting his own music that isn't likely going to be very good, and like, why waste your time listening to something bad when you could listen to something good that you already know? And I think that's a risk avoidance thing, but I think that makes sense. I do that. I don't know how I discovered new music. I have no idea. It just happens. I mean, a lot of it is Pitchfork and stuff, but like Spotify related artists, Last FM related artists. But I feel like the subreddit isn't a great place to discover new music. It's kind of to discuss already somewhat big music.
Yeah. I feel a little bit differently than you, where it's like, sounds like this artist. And I'm the type of person where, like, if I want to listen to Weezer, I'm going to listen to Weezer. So I want to listen to something that's kind of like Weezer. There was a time where I was listening to a band called Deep Sea Arcade that sounded like Tame Impala, and I just found myself listening to Tame Impala after a while. And the problem is that, the entire sub is just to discuss popular music. And we should, like, I guess the best way to find new music is not through this sub, to be honest. The most way to find new music is through other people that work at my campus radio station, because those are all people that love music and are into very specific things and are willing to share about it.
Yeah, if I can't imagine like trying to discover music through this subreddit. It would just be, I mean, if you were just getting into, but even then I would still suggest like, okay, go listen to Velvet Underground, then go listen to David Bowie, and then just go through this progression, like then go listen to punk, then go listen. And I feel like that's like a lot of people at the subreddit are lacking is a background. Some of them do, I won't say everyone, but I feel like a lot of people on the subreddit only listen to like new artists and don't have this background in like punk or even 90s. Like it just like I can't imagine listening to Tame Impala without listening to like the Beatles. I don't know, everyone's listening to the Beatles, but like what's a better example? Like what
funky,
or like what's a good who are some big artists right now?
I can't imagine listening to Modest Mouse without listening to Pavement first.
Or I can't imagine listening to like
Churches without listening to the Postal Service.
Sure. Or I'm trying to think even farther back, like to punk and stuff. Like I can't even imagine like listening to the Orwells or Fiddler without listening to like the Ramones.
Yeah.
Like, or even less than the Ramones, like Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, all that stuff. And there's so many people who just listen to the Orwells and stuff. And not that they're bad bands. These are good bands. I like the Orwells. I like Fiddler. I like Diarrhea Planet. I like all these new, like the crop of Pitchfork pop punk bands that are coming up. And I think they're all very interesting. But like you kind of like, I don't think you should, unless you can like, okay, you need to be able to track the lineage, which I don't think a lot of people on the subreddit do. I think that's one of the most important things I've ever done in music was when I'm like, okay, I'm listening to Green Day. Oh, they were influenced by this band Operation Ivy. Who was Operation Ivy in the scene with? Oh, Operation Ivy isn't that good. Who were better bands that they were in the scene with? Like you get in, and then you're like, okay, Bad Religion, very popular band, still very good. And then you're like, but who was playing at the same time when Bad Religion was beginning? You go in this whole family tree, and I think that's very important. I feel like the subreddit kind of hinders that discovery.
If I'm going to be honest, I
don't think it hinders it.
It doesn't hinder. That's the wrong word. You're right.
It doesn't procreate.
Yes, it doesn't advocate it for it. Yes.
But if I'm going to be honest, I strongly believe that we don't need a new essentials list. I think that a smaller group of more dedicated music people that made it when they first started sets a better base than like most of the people now.
I think an essentials list is kind of bad, in my opinion. I think that it kind of makes you lazy. You're like, okay, I'm going to listen to these albums, and then I get indie. I understand it, and if I don't like it, I'm never going to listen to indie because it's not for me. And that's stupid because indie is so many things. It's not a genre. It starts from the independent record label ideal, which is completely bullshit now. I mean, so many of the artists.
Grunge from the 90s is considered indie.
Yeah. So
it's not grunge or stadium rock.
Yeah, basically. So like if you like Loveless, you might not like the Postal Service. Like they're very different albums, both very indie, very important albums, but two completely different styles of music. Like if just because you don't like one, they're not essential. I think there could be like albums that most of us like, but I even think that's stupid. I'm not a big fan of charts and lists. I did make a top 50 thing, but that's like a personal thing. That's like, okay, these are the albums that I think are important. But like to say these are the important albums of this, I think that's counterproductive and makes people lazy.
But I
Okay.
also feel like that's good for somebody who wants to get into it, I
But-
guess.
But I
'Cause, like,
feel
if you-
yeah. Sorry.
If you're not into any, like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of hard to recommend stuff to
Yeah.
people.
No, but when I have friends that I'm like trying to introduce music to them, I'll start with like indie pop that I like. When I did it a lot in ninth grade when I was really into indie pop stuff. So I'd like give them indie pop stuff. I'd be like, here's Walk the Moon. They sound mostly like top 40 radio. They basically are top 40 radio. You'll probably like them. And then hey, and you just keep showing them layer upon layer, and that's how you get people into it. I just think dumping people in with like, okay, here's I don't know. But I just feel like the way the subreddit works with the central I think that's good to have like maybe it would be better to have like a starting guide like how to get in or like a suggested flowchart or something. I just think that
I think it would be smart if we broke it down into categories. Like,
Yeah,
There's
I feel
indie rock. Here is the beginning of shoegaze, Loveless. Here is the beginning of synth pop.
kind of like the moo
you're
chart.
not gonna know what shoegaze is if you're like just. I guess it's like if you are into this genre, like for different things. Like here's how to get into indie from different genres.
I feel
would
like
be good.
doesn't Mew have a chart like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like for example, you would be like if you're into rap, you should listen to like
Gorillas.
the Avalanches or like what?
The Gorillas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like if you're into like I don't know, if you're into like punk or whatever, then you should listen to like Pavement.
Or like go for Jawbreaker or something. Like just I don't. But if you're listen to punk, you're probably like into Jawbreaker.
What other things can we discuss as far as this goes? But I guess what the point I really want to drive home to the rest of the subreddit is if you don't like artists, I can't find the right word. Artist, what we were just talking about. Artist diversity, then do
Yeah.
something about it.
But I just think the problem is that even if you want to do something about it, it's hard because just it's not popular, so it's not going to get upvoted. Like that's just the fact of the matter.
You shouldn't be worried about what's going to be uploaded.
That's true. But then it doesn't get. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be worried about when it posts it, but then it's hard to get exposure.
That is also true.
That's all I'm trying to say. Like I think that it's fine if you post something or I think I encourage posting something that some obscure artist you're like, oh, there's this great band called Circle of Ouroboros that I've been trying to show to the chat. They're this like shoegaze metal band. I would love to share their stuff to the subreddit. No one would check it out, and it's like kind of. I just feel like there needs to be a way to like show that like okay, this is worth listening to. I don't know. It's really hard. There's no answer.
Yeah, I think
Sorry.
I think that like when you wanted to have this discussion, I didn't know that you were gonna talk. Like I wasn't sure whether you were gonna talk about like listen to stuff that's not as new or versus listen to stuff that is like not as big.
I'm talking about both,
And,
kind
like,
of. I feel like
I feel like I kind of fall into the second category, sort of, where I don't really listen to stuff that isn't as big. Like, I try, but, like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know if the sub is the best place to start doing that, because I've been on there for a while. I've been clicking on all the stuff, and, like, I don't know how much it's helped me to find, like, new stuff.
to find new stuff, you kind of have to use something like a recommendation engine, like Last.fm, Spotify's recommendations, or like some just random thing, or friends. I mean, it just
Friends are the best way.
Yeah, definitely friends are the best way if you have them. But I think that's part of the reason I think the subreddit exists, though, is because these are people who aren't being shown music by their friends, and they're like, okay, now we're all gonna join in and try to show each other music. It doesn't work that way, but it's like, okay, I don't have friends who are into the same music I am. Like, okay, let me talk about
I
this.
think the weekly suggestions thread should be bigger.
I love that thread because that's
Yeah.
I post in it every week, even if I have to like dig for something, because I'm like, this week I'm like, I really want some post-hardcore stuff like crazy, and some people showed me some really cool bands I had heard of but never really listened to, like Shudder to Think, Future of the Left, and I mean, I think most of the people had no idea what I was talking about, but those couple people showed me some really cool stuff, and I always try to comment on a bunch of people's stuff, and if someone recommends something that isn't good, I will be like, this is not a good recommendation. Don't. So, I'm not going to try to be an asshole, but I'm like, don't just check out something else. Like there's so many people who are like, what? I like Animal Collective, I like Surf Jan, I like Suf Jan, and I like Arctic Monkeys. What should I listen to? I'm just like, God, fuck. Just listen to music.
I need to head out now, but
oh yeah,
nice being on.
It's been nice to hear from you. It's a rare occurrence, but it's nice.
Sorry.
Wait, was this your first actual podcast?
Yeah. All right.
What?
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We never gave John a proper introduction.
Bye, guys.
Bye, John. I have a fact about all of us, me, Ethan, and John. We all live in the same county.
We do.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
Like, we all, like, we get invited to the same Facebook events.
Well, that's because John and I invite you.
No, I invited you to one.
Oh, yeah. We all invite each other.
Yeah. But, like, maybe not Ethan. Like, Ethan and I kind of know, like, we live in the same part of the county, too, where Ethan and I kind of know the same people, like, similar people.
We have mutual friends on Facebook. It's kind of weird.
And, like, John and I have, like, John's roommates are, like, in a band that I think used to go to my high school, and they play at shows with other bands that, like, have my friends in them, and it's just so weird, because, like, we're all just some randos who met on some, like, community in the internet, and we all just happen to be, like, living less than 20 miles away from each other.
So, I mean, Jeremiah isn't in the same county, but he also fits into that category.
Yeah, Jeremiah.
It's pretty crazy.
Like, Jeremiah lives in the same, like, he lives in D.C.
Oh, no. He's Virginia.
Yeah, he lives, like, close to where we live, sort of, but just, like, a state away.
Yeah.
But we all live, like, under 20 miles away from each other. Like, John lives super close to my school.
Yeah.
And, yeah, a good thing about, like, being friends with Ethan on Facebook is now he invites me to all these DIY shows.
Which we will eventually go to one.
Yeah.
I go to them, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess, do we have anything more to say about what we were talking about? I definitely want to talk about more what you're talking about, but, like, we should probably end the podcast.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
We could, end and then talk.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say?
Not really, I guess. Like, everyone click on the links.
Yeah, and click
on the links that people post.
And just check out old bands, check out new bands, check out weird bands, go listen to my Weird Noise album on Spotify and Eon. It's the first result. Don't listen to it. It's awful. It's really bad. Go to a record store and just pick out something strange, like from the industrial experimental section. Just put it on, and then research that label online. Like, how I found out about Circle of Ouroboros is I just picked up a record at this record store, and it was super cool. They become kind of one of my favorite bands in some way. I don't listen to them that much, but, like, when I'm in the mood for them, it's like, oh my god, this is the perfect music for this. So yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, wait, I wanted to say something.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
That's kind of, like, contradictory to what I was saying before. Like, a while ago when I talked about, like, find a band that's, like, when you post a band and you, like, be like, this is similar to Sufjan Stevens or whatever, and that'll get people to check it out. I also feel like I don't really agree with that because, like, I know it'll help people find stuff, and I know that, like, if someone says something sounds like, for example, like parquet courts, then, like, of course I'm gonna listen to it. But it all depends on, like, a problem is that a lot of the stuff that I listen to, and I feel like this goes for a lot of people in the sub, I guess, is that a lot of the stuff that we listen to is more, like, about the emotional aspect just as much as it is about, like, the sound, if not more about that, I guess. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, a lot of the time, if someone says something sounds like Animal Collective, I'm not really gonna listen to it. Because I don't really listen to Animal Collective for what they sound like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I completely get what you're saying, and I think most of the subreddit is like you. I'm actually completely different. I'm very sound-based. I'm very like, okay, if I like this sound, I like the That's why I like a lot of post-hardcore stuff, because I love the chaos of it. I guess it's more... I like this emotion of the sound, I guess.
It really depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like, if someone says, like, oh, this sounds like My Bloody Valentine, or, like, this sounds like Parquet Courts, like, of course I'm gonna go listen to it, because, like, I literally know one word in, like, Loveless, probably. I never know what they're saying. But, like, and with Parquet Courts, I guess, like, I like them for their sound. Like, that's just the first example I could think of.
But, like, if another band was like, okay, I sound exactly like the Dismemberment Plan, I would definitely check them out because I love the band so much. But I would probably not listen to them because they don't have Travis Morrison.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, if someone said, this sounds exactly like Emergency, and I don't know about you, but, like, unless the lyrics sound like, the lyrics have, like, the same weight as they do in that album, then I probably wouldn't go listen to it. And same with, like bands that sound like Animal Collective.
Yeah.
Like, I do listen to Animal Collective for the sound, but also, like, their lyrics are just super, like, they're kind of out there, I guess, and they're, like, one of probably the most, like, interesting part of the music.
I've got to go listen to the lyrics more, because I've always listened to the music more than the lyrics, but I know some of the lyrics, but, like, you know,
should listen to, like, I wouldn't say that Meriwether Post Pavilion is the best album to listen to the lyrics in.
Yeah.
But, because a lot of that, Meriwether Post Pavilion's so fun. Like, if someone said an album sounded like that, I would probably go listen to it. But, like, yeah. But for their other albums and stuff, like, I think maybe afterwards, or maybe even, like, right now, I'll give you, like, a list of songs that you should listen to by them that, like they have a lot of lyrics that are just kind of out there and it's, like, sort of unique, and, like, it's not something that, like, if another band tries to recreate that, it feels like they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Like,
'cause they're so unique in their sound.
Yeah. Like, in their lyrics, too.
Yeah.
And, like, to me, that has, I don't know, there's not a lot of, like, music that can pull off sounding like Animal Collective.
No, definitely not.
Like, despite them being my favorite band, whenever someone asks in, like, the weekly suggestions thread, like, hey, show me something that sounds like Animal Collective, like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Because, like, yeah, at least every week someone asks that.
Yeah. Like, I think Lucas asked, like, a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember, maybe, like, longer than that. He asked for something that sounds like campfire songs, I guess. But, like, I can't really think of anything that sounds like campfire songs.
Yeah.
So he was like, no other Animal Collective stuff. But like, the only thing that I can think of that sounds like has that similar sound, I guess, and like the similar feel is like just Young Prayer by Panda Bear, so that's what I recommended him. But like, even if something has a similar sound to that, it's not gonna have lyrics like one of the lyrics is the one that comes to my mind right now is wait, I think it's from the song De Soto de Sun, and the lyric is color people say oh no because they think it's contagious. Marshmallow people say oh yeah because they think it's a masterpiece. But that song is so pretty.
Yeah.
You should listen to it. But
Alright.
like, there's not a lot of bands that can have like a lyric like that that still sound just like they're doing it effortlessly.
Yeah.
Oh man, did you listen to the Animal Collective ripoff band that somebody posted in the sub?
I think I listened to maybe a second. I don't remember. Was it bad?
No, I mean, it was just so weird. They're called Yawn, and I think the song was called Acid. Someone posted it in the Animal Collective sub too a while ago. But like, just listen to it. I'm gonna try to put a link in the chat, but it's just ridiculous. That's an example of something where you would listen to it and like it sounds like Animal Collective, but it makes you so uncomfortable. It doesn't give you the same like feeling that Animal Collective does. It just makes you feel really uncomfortable that you're listening to this band that's just trying too hard to sound like Animal Collective.
Yeah. And I can't imagine, like, because the amount of equipment and just shit you need to buy to sound like Animal Collective it just sounds like so much effort. Like, just try to do something original with all that equipment.
Yeah, I guess.
We have strayed so far from the conversation topic, but that's fine because we just need a time filler.
I just like my plot is to slowly like come onto the podcast every single time I come on, just start talking about Animal Collective and sooner.
Oh shit! My headphone just fell out. 1 second.
Until
I mean, that was Sarah before you, and then Jeremiah before. Oh, did Jeremiah just come on? Well, I'm gonna hang him up because I think we should. We should.
No, he should talk.
We should.
What he was listening to.
We should end the podcast. I think we're kind of at that time.
Wait, Jeremiah.
Okay, he's not coming on, apparently. Okay, we should end now.
All right.
I'm sorry to shut down Jeremiah, but yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. So this has been the r/Indieheads podcast, hosted by Ethan. It's been awful, but oh well.
This was the shortest one we've done in a while.
Yeah, probably because we have 3 people and I'm hosting. I don't know. We just didn't go off any many tangents or riffs or anything.
Maybe should we let Jeremiah talk about?
No, I love Jeremiah, but I think we should
talk about Spoon.
I think we should. He just put everyone else put albums they were listening to, and he just put Spoon. I really hope he was just listening to like the spoons hitting each other, like the on a leg, and he was just listening, really getting into like bluegrass spoon music solo. Okay, but we should end there, and just a piece of advice for everyone on the subreddit: just find shit, listen to it, and just listen. Don't just listen to stuff on the subreddit, and just try to find cool shit. Don't just listen. I think
what Ethan said about spoon music was a joke, but now he's gonna post some fresh spoon music on the sub.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get really into like spoons clanging against each other. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Okay, the song of the week is "Ice Cream Shop" by The Lemons. Played 4 times because that's what happened to John. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you.